Hey guys, I'm going to go through the do's and don'ts of property development, the biggest mistakes that I see people making in property development every single day. My name's Adam Panisi. I've been developing property, investing in property for 11 plus years. Started when I was 22, fresh out of uni. I've got a couple of $100 million in the development pipeline at the moment, which I'm developing over the next 12 months, 24 months. And the biggest thing I see is, first of all, people pick the wrong property. They buy in a crap location. It's not good for property development. There's no money to be made. And then not only do they buy a crap property in a crap area, they pay too much for the property. So even when they've just started, they think they're gonna set out and make all this money from property development, because property developers are rich, but there's plenty of property developers that make no money or even lose money. So you've got to get it right. It's no different to anything else. You need to be shown, if you don't know, you need to be shown the ways to actually do it properly, or if you're going to try and side cut that and maybe try and do it yourself, just be prepared to make a lot of mistakes, cost yourself tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars if you're doing bigger size projects. So first thing is, you make your money when you buy. If you pay too much for a property, your goose is cooked from day dot. Now, you've got to look in. One other thing people do, they buy in the wrong areas. They buy in areas where there's no pricing disparity. Now, pricing disparity is a difference between what you buy the raw land for and then what you can develop and sell the end product for. Now, I will give you an example of this pricing disparity. In property development, it is a little bit different from property investment. You're not just looking at a buy and hold. You need to think about where you're going to add value and what value you're actually going to add. What's the point of doing a property development if you're actually not even going to add any value at all? You're better off just to sit on the couch or go sit on a beach and do nothing. So what areas do you need to look for? You need to look for an area where basically you're buying a block of land, it's a raw block of land, and you can split off another title, another block, or build a couple of houses, townhouses, whatever it is. But really what you're really ultimately looking for is where you can generate additional wealth or additional value to the property. So you're buying a property for say $1 million, you split off a block of land, you sell that block of land for say $400,000 or $500,000. The property that you've bought after you've split it off, it may still be worth $900,000. So you gotta look at what is it going to cost you. Now in that example, let's assume you bought a property for $1 million, you sell the existing property, it's got a house on it, you split off the backyard, so you're basically getting a block of land for free. Now, there are suburbs where this is going to work, there's suburbs where this is not going to work. Now, this is just an example. If you are looking at, say, doing townhouses, you might buy a block of land for $1 million, and townhouses, end completed product, say that they're 3 or 4 bedrooms, doesn't really matter. Say those end completed townhouses are selling for $800,000-$900,000. Now, there's a bit of a light bulb moment if you can buy a whole block of land and fit 4 $1 million or 4 $900,000 townhouses on there. Now, that light bulb moment is really the difference between what you're buying the raw land for, the raw materials, really, because you're developing, you're manufacturing properties or you're manufacturing land. So what you can buy the raw materials for versus what you can sell the end product for. So if you look at a property and you've got a block of land or a house and you're buying it for $1 million, but you do the split and each block's only worth $500,000 or $600,000, that's not a big pricing disparity. And you know how many times I've been in suburbs or looked in suburbs where people are doing this? They'll pay $1 million for a block of land, they'll do the subdivision, and they'll sell each block of land for like $600,000. There's no money in that. So you need to pick the right suburbs, and then once you pick suburbs where there is pricing disparity, well then the next one is then people go and pay too much for that property. So you need to actually work out what the strategy is. Go into a suburb where it's actually going to work, where there's an unlimited amount of deals to be done in that suburb. Now these deals are not just going to fall on your lap. They're not going to come from realestate.com generally. You're going to actually have to get off your ass and do stuff. Now by doing stuff, it's going to be 3 to 5 hours a week is what I recommend as laser focused work on a particular strategy and a particular suburb. But property development, the great thing about it is it's highly leveraged, and you can leverage from other people and other networks. So it's about spending 3 to 5 hours smart. It's working smart, not working hard, and leverage from other networks. But the main point or the main thing people screw up is they're in the wrong area, then they go and pay too much for the property. So they're the two main don'ts in property development. Now, the third one is if you're not educated in property development and you just think you're going to do this by yourself, great. But what are you actually going to develop? So you bought a property, you've paid too much, you're in the wrong area, and now what? Now you try and work out your feasibility. Most people stuff it up. They don't allow for enough costs. There's a lot of red tape with property development. It has gotten worse, or it has gotten many more hoops to jump through over the last 10, 11 years, or at least the suburbs I'm developing in. So you've got to allow for these costs, and you've got to know what they are. Now you've got to know who to talk to ask them what the actual costs of development are. Now I teach students to allow certain amounts for particular costs, and if they're close to those amounts, then it's going to be, or they are going to be close to those rough amounts which you need to use to start off with. But then you need to actually talk to specific consultants to find out the exact cost, because each site is slightly different. So you need to be able to use rough estimated costs on a particular strategy to know that there's going to be at least some sort of margin in it just from the onset. Now there's plenty of sites I see, I just run the quick numbers on them, takes me 30 seconds or less, and I realize that this person or this developer is actually not making any money. Now you can make a lot of money from property development, but again, there's plenty of people that do not make a lot of money, so you've got to get it right. I mean, you can try it yourself, and we have people come to us who don't want to join our program, and that's fine. People can try it themselves, but I know from experience, even after doing programs, and the programs I did admittedly did not teach me everything I needed to know, but it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars for people not teaching me the right information. So I want to try and fast track that learning curve. There's so many opportunities in Australia with property development. All around Australia, the concept is exactly the same with property development. Each council is going to be slightly different. The terminology changes a little bit, but the concept, the principle, you understand the principle, you can develop anywhere in Australia. Now, the benefit to me teaching you to fast track it is there's so much opportunity. I play in a really big space in the property development world. I'm not going to be competing with you, and I also teach you how to buy properties off market, develop that strategy, and then go and target properties off market. Now, if they're off market, do you think that there's going to be a huge amount of competition? Well, there's generally not, especially when you pick a particular strategy. Most of the properties I target off market, I'm generally the only buyer, or if I'm not the only buyer, there's usually only one other person who's realized this particular property. So that's been my experience, and that's my strategy. And it's not just because I'm at the top end. There's still a lot of players all around Australia playing in the same space that I am at, including some publicly listed companies. So there is still competition, but if you're looking on market, there's always going to be competition. If you're looking off market and you've developed a particular niche and strategy, you're generally not going to have any competition, especially when you know a particular area and you know the true value of a property. So the next thing, the biggest mistake people make, I'm just going to recap on what I've covered. They pick the wrong strategy, pick the wrong area, then they go and pay too much for the property, and then what do they do after that? Then they underestimate their costs and then go and deliver or try and deliver this property development. A lot of the ones that don't make money never actually get completed because people can't finance them. If they can finance them, then they finish it and they realize that they've actually not made any money. Now, you would be, or maybe not surprised, but I have heard plenty of people doing property developments not made any money. Barbecue stories, networking events I've been to, and they get disheartened and they don't want to do another property development. If you go and spend 2 years doing a property development, you make no money from it, you're not really going to want to get back on the horse and do it again. If you get taught the right way, it's no different to anything else. If you get shown the right way how to do things and you just follow those steps, you're going to get the same results. If you've never been taught and you try and wing it yourself, well then it could be hit and miss. You might fluke it, great, you might make some money, But there's plenty of people I've seen that have fluked it, then they go to the next one, the market has cooled, and then they go and lose money. So they end up losing the amount of money they made on the first one. So first, and to encapsulate all of that, listen to my videos. If you don't want to join our Inner Circle program, that's fine. Listen to the free videos, try it yourself. When you want to jump to the next level, come and talk to us and we'll be able to guide you in the right direction. There is no upsell, there is no advanced program other than the initial program course that we offer, because I believe that everything needs to be included and not have an upsell or not have, something else to sell you into where I've missed key pieces of information. So I've literally given everything in the program that we run, and that's everything that you're going to need to be able to develop yourself. And there is a support community as well as part of the program. So if you do like this video, have a look at our other ones. I do a lot of free videos to help you guys. And if you want to share any of your wins or any of your struggles, please just send us an email or provide comments if you've got any further questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more videos. Thanks.